2. Voices hover near dawn, laughing through the trees. Stirrings of early morning city dwellers camped along the rim of purpose. In the background, a drone of freeway behind a bush of grackles, fighting for position. A higher branch or more sturdy lower one, but still beyond the reach of cats. 3. In the vision of this early morning fantasy, a weed eater hums through useless foliage, and I think, that's right, go ahead, trim it all away so the fruit can bud, firm and sweet and swollen with promise. 4. I'm not sure when everything changed, but when I came back to earth, I landed with a thud. Ye gads, I sat up and looked around. This is wonderful. Where have I been? 5. And I was birthed anew in flesh, descended from where I had gone along the mansions of the moon, pulled through my own birth canal, through the stratosphere, back into being alive and breathing the breath of life. 6. You kept rolling on after me like the tide coming in steady shore or backing up and then tumbling beachward. I turned around, your eyes meet mine, knowing me and my soul, and I looked into your face and you said, drink me with your Asia eyes. And I did, and it was good. 7. And I said, I want this. I want this summer like a man wants a woman. I want to dive headlong into the Austin nights of coffee house lights and love warming on a back burner. I want to court her, stroke the edges of her dream time, slide my fingers down the seams, make love slowly or wantonly, give myself completely to this Austin dream. 7. So here I come with all my juices flowing, ready to dive right in like a man, turning a woman's hips and taking the deep plunge tonight. Ready, Brian? Watch it. Oh yeah, me.
Right.
Let's start practice.
Right, so living poetry is kind of what I do, just whatever is off the cuff on my mind, in my heart, and it has to come out. It has to come out. Family, my family, all scattered and gone, cast to the corners for sticking their thumbs into the main monkey business. They only want one to bear witness to the briefest of moments they stuck to their guns. Liberty for liberty were quartered and drawn. Broken, unbroken, the Ouroboros ring, the infinite circle that surrounds and divides with barriers invisible with gravity. And I'm awestruck, troubled by clarity, tossed this way and that like Olympus against the tides. Godly, ungodly, and still I will sing. Change, don't change. Take back what you said when humanity threatened to strip your pride bare, leave you naked and born upon the universal fabric torn, and still you cling tightly to your Vanity Fair. Applause, the applause is all in your head. Loved, unloved, the scale tips with the tide. Justice, injustice, the perspective changes. So which side of the glass do we cast our unlit shade upon? The treasures have been laid deeper, yes, deeper till tomorrow comes to pass. Deeper and deeper we come to turn inside.
Yeah, I share some more of Connie Williams because she's a wonderful poet and she does lots of poems about Austin and La Mesa, and it's actually La Mesa. They say La Mesa, no. There may be mesas out there, but it's La Mesa. But she was with the Beat people, whatever they are, and she wrote this to Lawrenceville and Getty, who stole my maidenhead with their poem. You were my first poet, the first one to hover near my nakedness, telling me the birds would go mad when I gave myself, stretched eagerly upon the dirt brown earth, a hot summer upon me. You were the first to lift me spinning into the world of words, my virgin intellect bursting into existence with each plunge of earthly freedom, freed at last to live it, to write it all down. Years later, when I saw you for the first time, sitting at that table in Naropa, my heart could not be still, my body could not move, my breath strangling me, my silent mind frozen, framed around your profile, like that photograph of you on the back of Coney Island of the mind, but real, fulfilling all my fantasies. Your flesh and blood, close enough to touch close enough to smell, yet still unavailable, untouchable, unknowable, forever pure. How about that? Yeah, it's cool. And this is Waiting for the Poetry Festival in La Mesa, Texas. By the way, anything I read, you can have. If you say, I want that, you just have it. Because, you know, that's what poetry's for. Pass it on. So I'm going to read this one and see if you like. Waiting for the Poetry Festival in La Mesa, Texas. There's a light shining in the window. Everything is poetry or song. Catch the rift and sing along. A sleeping town awaits awakening. One old cowboy tells about riding down the Caprock Breaks, how he spotted the last Indians near a small lake. Beside his horse he lay hiding, watched them ride on by as the dawn started lightening the sky. Men disappeared from their homes around here, never to be heard of again. They call their names in barbershop whispers. Someone knows who murdered the rodeo clown. He'll only tell when he's ready to be laid in the ground. The streets echo with ghosts. You can feel them, see them vapors in the heat. No one records their sounds. Look up at any event and catch the trembling slant. The spin really happens out here. We have an oral tradition. No one wants to be pinned down. Welcome to the light tonight. Join the parade of spirits tonight. Squeeze the words from the trees and the birds and scuttlebutt all around town. Isn't that good? How about this one? Coffee Shop Heroes. It's about you guys. Like this. It's a poor storyteller who can't improve upon the truth, the old man said. Spoken like a true coffee shop hero, I thought. You know the one, with white hair and blue-grey eyes and the gimpy walk. He treats me like a lady and loans me his glasses for the classified ads I suddenly can't see. My coffee shop hero looks like Santa Claus. Wears camouflage overalls and a POW cap. His fingers are stiff from twisting nuts and bolts. He can make anything run, especially if it won't at all. He thinks the malls are full of fools. He don't say why, just laughs and twinkles. And if he were younger and single, he'd chase that young thing down, but he's not, so he won't. And secretly I know that Ma and her kerchief stole his heart away long ago. He talks about the weather and days gone by, how the cattle piled up on the fence, blinded by the snowstorm's wild white eye. The fire that took the barn and house down, the dervish aflame, leaving cinders and blame for the hired man trapped in the loft. His father knew my grandpa on the Chisholm Trail, cowboying up from Abilene on a dusty, rutted path, chasing mavericks and dreaming of a bar. We laughed together like they must have done, Grandpa's darling, father's favourite son. And when I tell him I've been a fool and showed someone my behind, he tells me I'm only human and have a perfect right to let the jackass come out in me and shine. But it's funny, as the years go by and I watch the railroads die, the stockyards crumble, the tombstones tumble, the towns dwindle and the change in the range, how the coffee shop becomes a donut store and the dawn cracking coffee break gets later every day. This December in the coffee shop turned donut store, the old men look suddenly younger. A panic grips my faster beating heart as I realize any day now, one of these old farts will tell a story I actually remember. Oh, getting old, yes, indeed.
Getting older.
Yeah, oh, really true story. I'm friends on Facebook with Marge Piercy. I really like Marge Piercy. And Rowan Atkinson. But, yeah, that's Facebook for you. Don't mean nothing. So this one's dedicated to Marge Piercy, who says the moon is always female. By Connie Williams, Moon Poem. Your bowl of moon intrudes upon my window pane, filters through louvers, falls across my face, narrow slits of fluorescence, bright blue blinding my sleep. Cold inert pressed against the mauve sky, the amber haze of air-based lights, the dying din of night's machinery working against the morning. At my feet, my old dog snuggles in his sleep, restless in his freedom dreams, he longs to roam, frustrated gypsy in his cups. If I put him out, he'll jump the fence. Thunder through the tangled underbrush, tracking satisfaction, a stinking scavenger in black and white or accordion-plated armour. Tossed about by blue shadows, I'm fuzzy warm, lazy in my comfort, snuggled deep in my early morning bed, fondling memories. Only my pencil thumbs a ride tonight. How's that for dreaming? So that's her, okay? And then she wrote this when my father died. My father was a wild man. He had about 500 jobs, and He used to punch bosses out because he didn't like authority that much. But eventually death came and said, "It's your time." He said, "No, I'm not going to go." Tell that to death. On your father's passing. Even when we grope for words to weave the details of death into our heart story, the vacuum sucks away the impact of their meaning. A leaky hose that won't quite pick everything up. Suddenly we realise, oh, I'm half an orphan, or whole as the case may be. And a certain undefined independence occurs, but it will be years and time, endless time, even when there's been space and continents of reality between us and our sires, until the impact of independence from their perceived dominance or protection or parental covenant that was or was not, whether exercised or not, is felt. And tentacles of all things represented lose their grip, and we weep, strangely dispossessed for what was or what might have been, but it comes back to just plain loss. Human loss of whatever degree, and our increasing mortality, fragile as the butterfly's wings that hold us steady on course through the hurricane winds as we bend towards life. That's Connie Williams. She lives in Medusa. And Beowulf is there if you want Beowulf, and Hesiod's there if you want Hesiod. You want?
Yeah, and this one, the first edition. Okay, I've never seen the translated Beowulf.
Oh, there you are. Thank you. My pleasure. I wrote this today because last night we had a whole pile of people who generally wouldn't be out. They were because they were in public, but they were all recluses. A lot of them didn't want to be anywhere except with other recluses. So I wrote this for them. This is a ghost city. Skeleton poetry venues. Fleshed out stories, singers, and poets, artists, who manifest within this generic high-rise valet parking projection to mean community when all else sings me, 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 me. Gentle souls, devoting devotional exercises to dreaming, tied in time and space and energies to the betterment of humanity, so we might better see another way to be among the chaos. We are public recluses, card-carrying members of Paranoids Anonymous. We never meet. Yet smiling, sometimes we see another part of us within the city of humanity. We reach out to connect, dance with that energy, become one for a time, live, love, move on, with a story that always defies comprehension. This actually happens. That we can be both private and public and reclusive simultaneously. No one believes anything. They don't even listen. This gives us immunity. After all, what if this were just another story? Oh yeah, I said that. And then I had an idea. Remember Ben Elton? Anyone remember Ben Elton? No one remembers. You were English, you must remember Ben Elton. Stand-up comedian. He wrote Gridlock. He wrote Stark. Anyway, Ben Elton is... I went and saw him. He was a very famous comedian in the 80s. British comedian. And he said, I remember him saying, "I bet you think I'm making all this up. I don't improvise anything. Everything I do is professionally practiced. If I make mistakes, I've got no excuses." And I really like that. So Ben Elton wrote, his first book was called Stark, which is short for Star Arc. And it deals, he was one of the writers of, The Young Ones, right? Ben Elton, and he did a lot with Rowan Atkinson and people like that. But very, very bright man. And he wrote a book called Gridlock, which is based upon the absolute truth that if all the cars in England come out once, none of them can move. There's not enough room for all the cars. So you have to have shift work. So half the cars have to be garaged at all times for the actual cars to be able to drive somewhere. And I thought, what a brilliant idea, because it's true. And the other one he had was about Star Arc. Because we are messing this planet up really dramatically and well, I mean professionally, there's nowhere to go. I mean, the aliens said you're not going to have a moon base, and that camera on Mars is not showing a good valet parking situation up there. So his idea was that there should be an arc, a rocket with a hippie, a punk, a scientist, and a religious person in the arc, at least, as different types of humanity, to go up and seek another place to be. Star arc. Now, of course, as soon as what happens, everyone starts arguing, right? So I thought to myself, put that in Austin in 2013, and this afternoon I wrote this called Two of Every Creature. And if you are an arc or a star arc with two of every creature for the immediate future, know that you will have 2 snakes, 2 scorpions, 2 leeches, 2 of every termite, 2 piranha, 2 ticks, 2 fleas, 2 parasitic creatures. Add these to your inventories at open mics in Austin every night. One by one they may slink in, seeking coupling or uncoupling to grant all admission means your boat may be sinking, under the weight of unresolved contradictions. So tell me, 2 guns, 2 bombs, 2 CIA, 2 NSA, 2 FBI, 2 APD. If you admit 2 more security, you'll overload your budgetary, be off balance, break in 2 pieces, head from heart, life from art, civilian from military, liberty from tyranny. Sometimes it's actually best to admit that we are one. Allow everyone on. Watch what happens, just like universal surveillance. I said that. Yes. No, that's why I said it. Okay, but this is true. This is called, imagine if you will, that you've only got one life, and this is it. And you're spending your time on a Saturday night with a guy barking in the microphone, okay? Well, it's not my fault. I know what I'm doing. Check your karma, remind us that we are here. Something in our past lives, perhaps? Were we not listening last century in the Crusades when they came through plundering and raping? Anyway, I digress. What if, on the other hand, I thought, okay, you've got one life, this is it, and it's tick, 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 like a little time bomb. But then imagine, if you will, that you have many lives. Many lives. You know, your life as an artist, your life as a cafe proprietor, your life online. I thought, take that idea and run with it. So it's a very short poem. I have to do a long introduction for a very short poem. So it's called Many Lives, and it's dedicated to you on your little laptop over there. So, are you ready? No, there's no one behind you. It's just us.
He's on the line.
I know, but he's my friend. I can't do that to him.
Okay.
He's a nice guy and a good musician.
I am listening.
I know you are, but you're multitasking. I can't even handle one task at a time.
Unitasking.
Yeah, you.
Half-tasking.
He's half-tasked, right?
Half-tasking.
He's half-tasked. He's half-tasked, that's for sure. But see what you think, it's very short. I have many lives. One life for Google, one for YouTube, another for email, more for texts and tweets, still more for blogs, then come films, Hulu.com, DVDs, books, libraries and bookshelves. Free library tonight, I bought the free library. Why are you leaving? I didn't mean it.
I have a tune.
Okay, tune's good. Newspapers, radio, records, conversation, travel, adventures, long times of silence. Meditation, memories, recollections, writing. How little is left tonight for eating, drinking, driving to and from? If today is a line, tomorrow is a song.
Fresh meat, no maggots.
Okay, drive. That's the power of poetry. You can drive anyone out of the room. Just too much. Do you read, Brian? I'll listen to you. They walk down on me. Do it to you too. You know. There's no love in this world. Except from Alicia. She's wonderful. She's getting married.
Who's getting married?
Alicia's getting married.
Oh.
So,
She's
yeah, it's true. She's smiling really now.
awesome.
Okay. Awesome.
Good evening, interwebs. Right, so this was fresh. As I sat on this lovely floral print sofa with a good friend of mine last night, who chickened out in reading some of her father's poetry, but she got into the groove and she enjoyed it, and my mind and my heart were thinking, I want to write one kind of thing, but what came out is something totally different. That's the way creativity works. You just become a channel and get yourself out of the way, and whatever comes out, comes out. So this is what came out, and it is what it is. Welcome to my home. It's no place but where I am, borrowing space for a short while. A place to breathe in, waiting to breathe out. Transform the wine to water. Jumpstart the flickering sun within. Remember the crush and spring of grass beneath bare feet. Not barren, not loose, but steady, rooted, taking one step against the pull of wild gravity without fear of limbo, and putting the foot down to touch again, to reconnect, to become one with all again. Up, down, back, forth, out, and away, and back again. To voyage is to return. The process should be painless and natural. There will be rocks and spines and fire, wind and words and waves and pain. There is ever pain, inevitable and real, but suffering is a choice. It's a comfortable shroud fit for a state funeral. It's an imperfect fit. But even snakes and locusts and the lowly things shed their skins, if only to become bigger lowly things. Better to remember I am never the same river. I rise, I fall, I rise again. Baby steps, wobbling, careening, running, and then walking, without thinking about the future of the next step. There is that foundation. The walls I'll take down, brick by brick, and let the water flow, and then I'm home.
That's good. That's good. Yeah. That's a good confidence. You sound so good. I want it there. Yeah. This is always a good little come on. Right now, I'm just trying to do one thing. Grocery store now. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to do. I don't know what. It's bad having all the plastic bags. They never take it back. Can you hear me?
Oh, you're good.
I mean, I know English not a great, what do you want to call it? Feeling, emotion. But I dream of a whole population of people. I dream of a whole population of people that can't even remember what yesterday is. But I still got a nighttime in my eyes. Hey, come on in. And it's a star field full of poets and songwriters and people just making a living and people just listening. But I know somewhere
today. And they don't think about tomorrow. I mean, like it's been said before, if you could really just live for today, what would you be doing? Because if you're not doing it, you're missing something. One time I looked up on the internet. I was curious. I put in my longitude. I put in my latitude. So I wanted to know what was underneath my feet. Turns out, if I dug a hole and kept going, and kept going, I'd end up being a fish in the Indian Ocean. And I'm a believer that there is another side of the world. And whether there's fish there, or people playing guitar, they all have the same basic principles in mind. Just getting along. Who said that? Is that the thing?
Okay.
Is it the thing that says enough said?
What
Is
thing?
the thing that says enough said? One of them says enough said.
What thing?
The superhero, one of them says enough said.
No, nobody says that.
Yeah, I don't
Just
know that.
you say it.
So there's a place in England called Cornwall. My friend is very magnetized to Cornwall, you know. She goes there as often as she possibly can. I'm magnetized to Glastonbury. I can't go over there without going straight to the well, drink from the well, maybe walk up the tour, just sit there in the sevenfold entrance to the underworld of the Celtic mythology. But my friend sent this poem today about her son, who's also Gemini, who's down in Cornwall now, and she's just got this, you know how sometimes you get this attraction that says, I must go now, I must. So this is called Jamie and Milo in Cornwall now, and it's free if you want. I've started to pack slowly, one thought at a time. Clothes, priority, vanity, constant. Look good, feel good, style with substance. Jazzy dog essentials next. Brush, shampoo, toys, food, collars, leads, colours variable, camera, chargers, phone, art materials, miscellaneous. My list of essentials is massive. Mustn't forget anything I might need. When I get there, necessity will fall away. I will be captured by the sea and I'll roll with the waves. Stone circles will pull me in again and clear blockages of my energy. Stress will blow away on a gentle wind. My heart will be filled by ancient landscapes. Jazzy and I will be wild and free, will be disheveled, delirious, delighted. Our spirits will fly on solstice magic. Cornwall is calling, and we will answer. So I answered it at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Everybody's got, well, you know, if there's a call, you've got to answer it, haven't you? Everything's a conversation. It's not a monologue. You know, we're actually talking with each other. Some with more silence than others, but you know, that's just a choice. Everybody has a sweet spot, a place, a space that calls their private name, a secret home for soul and spirit to rest, blessed by alignment with elemental feng shui. Everybody has a home that is blessed. Water may call you to the sea, where on the edge contemplate liquid eternities. Waves away from land and rock of pain, you can dip into your origins again. Some may sing of waterfall or well, a sacred river, a deepening stream. Wishes are made here, ribbons or coins thrown in, trusting that spirit will return so you may sing again. This is the way we sing our future in, by going back to our spirit origins. Free poetry, who wants it? You got it. There's the beginning and the end. Eh? I got more copies. It's just awesome sauce. Because she sent it to you too. You didn't reply.
I didn't reply. I sort of flagged it. I was pretty busy.
Oh, busy?
Yeah,
I know you were.
I was pretty busy.
He was busy. I know you were. You sent the thing to him, which is really good. Thanks for that. Thanks for being there last night, family. I got a TV if you want a little TV. It's a wind-up TV.
Yeah, I know.
Oh.
I am looking for the
Do you want a wind-up TV?
Field expedient technology?
Yeah, the old, exactly.
How cool.
Exactly, it's
I
yours.
am looking for a phonograph with the wax wheels though. With the wax.
You beat me. I'm not as old as that.
I want one of those.
I actually saw wax
Sorry.
cymbals. I actually heard Alfred Lord Tennyson sing break, break,
Wow.
break on a wax cylinder. Wow, isn't that something? Just to think, you think those people are dead for centuries, but they actually were exposed to the beginnings of technology. And then when you hear Sylvia Plath, you think, oh, miserable, she's killed herself. Her voice is so happy and joyous. It really blows you away. Sylvia Plath, happy?
Yeah, I heard some recordings of her that she made back in the early 60s.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Joyful, powerful, bright.
And then she put her head in the oven.
Well, Ted Hughes, his next lover killed herself too. Sure. What are you going to do?
The contagion.
Good job, CSI wasn't out then. They would have checked.
They would have nailed him. That's right. You did that, Mr. Hughes. Who have you been killing? Your favourite people? So you have a choice of which one's idea. Dreams are escaping. Bad dog, mad dog. I walked out and stared at the night sky. After, if your life permits, or Ptolemy, Copernicus, Pythagoras, Euclid, Kepler, and Tesla.
Yeah, if your life permits.
You too, ask whatever you like, I'll do.
Unfortunately, I believe.
I know, but it's been great for you. Thanks for being.
No, thank you very much.
Ah, thanks for responding like a human being. It's really refreshing.
Really?
Yeah, it's rare.
I am human.
I know you are, but
I'm
that's.
just looking for a house, so I'm driving around. So.
Well, good luck. There are a lot here, but there are people in them.
Yeah, that's the problem. I just walk and open the door and walk in.
You want an actual room or a house or what?
No, I'm looking for a house.
Oh wow, good luck. And this is the right spot, South Austin. Go further and you're going too far. Get in the city, you can't afford it. Go up north and you're dead. So,
Well, thank you so much. It's been
happiness.
lovely.
Now you find your house. Pretty books.
I'm good here.
Yeah, good. Check them out.
I'll walk one, but I'll come back. How's that sound?
See you then.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Thanks for being here.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Much love.
Now, my friend Alex, she's a dog person. I forgive her because I know Alicia's a dog person too. They're nice people. It's just
I'm a dog person. I'm an
animal lover. She's an animal lover, and that's a good thing. But I'm a cat, and cat people, we understand cats. They're delicious with a bit of garlic, sauteed. Just cut the tail off and no problem.
You ever read that book, 101 Uses for a Dead Cat?
Yeah, I did. That was clever marketing.
Cats.
I know, me too. Yeah, very much.
Cats are my spirit animals.
Yeah, yes. Mine's actually a bird, like seagull or sparrow, generic. Just nothing too fancy. Not like an eagle or a hawk. No, more like a dusty little dirty sparrow or something making a mess.
Oh.
This is cat news. For all you see our cat. We have this cat, a rescue cat, right? And it's the last cat. Nobody wanted this cat. This cat was so aggressive, and it gave us a look like, the look. You get that look? Don't come near me. I am angry cat. I am not going, I'll scratch and claw you. I thought, okay, here's the challenge. Which is going to win? Love and kindness or anger and disturbance? It's an eternal dance, isn't it? Which is going to win? So we said, that one. And they got their gloves on and tried to It's true.
It's Spencer Smith.
Yeah, that's right. And I still got marks to show she cares. But I'm trying it out, and the eyes are sort of cat eyes, flashing eyes, and she was so angry about something. I don't know what it was. It must have been the last World War or something. But you know, she was really powerhouse of anger. And we thought, okay, because our last cat died, and she was really nice, but she died, which is a terrible thing to do. Don't do it. I tell people don't do it, but they don't listen. Especially cats. You know. So go home, right? And we say, now look, cat, we've got one rule here. Rule is, whatever you want to do, that's what you do. And it took a little while for the to realise that was really real. You know, whatever you want to do, you do it. So, you know, scratched and clawed and jumped and pounced and did all sorts of things. Tried to chase animals, tried to chase birds, but no. Because we feed it, it doesn't bother anymore. It just comes to, time to feed me, come on, train you. And I realised then that, okay, cats have been around, they put them in the pyramids for the next life. There's a cat god in Egypt.
Bust.
Bust. Yeah, bust, you're absolutely right, bust. Cat goddess, yeah. And so I agree, cats are very, very mystical and magical and lovable. I just can't deal with dogs. But that's, I mean, it's like talking to a drunk. If you ever try, dog, no, don't be obedient. Don't follow orders. They really want they try so hard. No. So here it is, cat news. I'll do the other one first. I had in Australia. I had a cat, another rescued one. It was called Dog. Dog was a real mongrel. She was really, you know, she was the last cat in Australia. You know, she was sort of like, I'm going to evolve. I'm not going to evolve. I'm going to stay primal. Anyway, one day, you know how cats do it? They attract your attention. I've got something to show you, so it attracted my attention, and it lay down and died. And I thought, good show. The biggest thing in its whole life was the way it left, you know, Macbeth. It was just really, really a great tragedy, but it was so well done. You've got to admire things that are well done. Like the poet John Cotyer said, when you see someone doing something that's different to other people, there are two questions you must ask. Why is he doing it? And is he doing it well? Like you see someone talking to the air on the street. Okay, you're talking to the air on the street. Great. How well are you talking to the air on the street? Is there someone who can do that better than you? Are you going to have job tenure talking to the spirits?
Does the air talk back?
Exactly. Is there a conversation happening here, or all just eternal monologue? So I wrote this for my Australian cat, Dog, and it's about my neighbour's cat, actually. And it's a sing-along, but I know you can't sing along. But I'll try, okay? You have to use your body for this. Anyone got a body? Everyone got a body? Okay, ready? Now we'll just practice. You know, exactly. He knows what to do. Alicia, have you done this one before? Okay, just repeat after me everything I say. Full moon! Half moon! Crescent moon! Hardly any moon at all! Hardly any moon at all.
It's an Australian accent.
A moonless night. Sunshine! It's actually a Tibetan greeting.
Yay!
More sunshine. Rain. Rain for us. Say the words.
Rain for us.
Rainforests.
Rainforest.
See, that's how rainforests are made. Grass.
Grass.
Snake.
Snake.
Watch out for snakes in the grass. Ladder.
Ladder.
No, sorry. Ladder.
Ladder.
Fence.
Fence.
House.
House.
Lightning.
Lightning.
Storm clouds. Little puffy white clouds.
Little puffy white.
Rainbows.
Rainbow.
Alternative rainbows. It is Austin after all, and South Austin. And then what else? A bucket.
A bucket.
When life gets you down, feels very difficult, you can legally go out in the streets and say, bucket! Try it sometime. It's quite good. People get confused. That's easily done. So, here we go. What sound does a cat make?
Meow.
So when I say cat, you go,
Meow.
very good. Yeah, well, exactly. Wild cat.
Meow.
Thank you very much. Wild man. Okay. I have a cat.
Meow.
Or rather, my neighbour has a cat
Meow.
called Sally.
Meow.
There's always one.
I hate this game.
There's always one. You knew the poem too.
I never could play this game.
It's all right. It's just called consciousness. It's a hard game to play.
It's called soccer.
Sally is a white Persian cat.
Yeah.
Likes to climb over the fence. Fence. Use your arms. Come on, don't be armless. You too. You're no witnesses in this crime. That's it. Sit on the rooftop. Sing a cat song.
Yeah.
It's 3 a.m. on an impossible full moon. Balmy morning. Sally the cat singing her cat song on the roof, which translated into Texan is, "Get me down! Get me down now! I'm stuck on the roof and I can't get down! Get me down now! I'll make your life hell!" So I decided to be Prince Gallant. I shall rescue Rapunzel from her tower. I take the small rickety yellow ladder against the side of the house under the full moon. It's been raining recently in my backyard. There's a bucket, and in the bucket there is, say it here, rain. And in the near the next to the
House.
under the, I can see something. What do I see?
A cat.
Cat's on the roof. Oh, come on. I'm looking on the left. Come on, let's do it together, right? In the, yes, you got the what? In the, next to the ladder, next to the house, under the full moon. I'm up on that ladder. I'm looking down, and in the bucket, I see something.
Oh, I got it.
Grass.
Water.
Yes, but in the water.
Oh.
Snake could be a snake. You're right. Could be a water snake. Very much.
Grass.
That's a small bucket.
Yeah,
Could be grass. You're right. Could be powerful grass. You never know. That's both are acceptable answers to the alternative universe. What could it possibly be? The full moon!
Ah!
In my bucket! Full moons come down in my bucket. I forget all about Sally cats can wait. They make us wait enough, don't they? I think Basho, Edo, Zen, Haiku, I flip back like a Japanese acrobat, a spiritual samurai warrior reincarnated from the 13th century. And I look at her eyes, and her eyes are full of lightning!
Lightning.
Storm clouds! Little puffy white clouds! Rainbows! Alternative rainbows! And it occurs to me how much poetry there may be in one cat's eye.
Yeah.
That was a prelude to the cat news. The great cat on the moon has sent new news to you, you who since ancient Egypt have adored your personal cat pets. She has given command to all of us that we should love our animals, not slice, dice, chop or shoot or otherwise can, cook nor eat our pet rabbits, horses, dogs, rats or cats. She has confiscated all weapons of war so animals might roam wild and secure once more. If you wish, you might pit your fist or teeth against wild jaguar, puma or lynx, yes, but never again such bison gun slaughter. Every cat hears her, and that is why you may hear Captain Wally meow when the moon is high. It's their way of saying, we agree tonight. Allow all companion animals to roam free tonight. Release the wild within you and me tonight. Hey, whoa! I stopped. You can relax now. Woo. So, there was this, anyone ever heard of the band Easy Beats? Okay. In Australia, where I come from, a big thing. They had a very big hit in England and Australia, and I don't know over here, called Friday on My Mind. I've got Friday on my mind. Monday music is so bad. Tuesday just to make me mad at work. All they're doing is 9 to 5. It just seems like it's a jerk around. I'm just waiting for a Friday on my mind. That's all right.
I figured out who sang Kiss Me All Over. It was Exile.
Okay, thanks.
Sure.
I'm so glad that you should.
Yeah, well, you asked last time.
Yeah, well, because I didn't know.
A long time ago.
That's what happens when you ask me, don't I? Today, I will make no decisions. Not even one. I will flow with each moment and see what comes. Anticipation is itself a response. Our tiny worlds coincide via choice and random collisions. Atoms and quarks are all invisible. Higgs boson known only via interaction, just like people. Each day may not be different, but I am. So whatever presents itself will face new dimensions. A plan is only as good as its execution. I await this new as if it were second-hand. I anticipate spontaneous as a plan. Does that make sense?
Perfect.
Shouldn't. I got a plan, exactly. My plan is no plan. That's my plan. I'm sticking to the plan. So my friend is coming to the next expressions, July 6th. His name, and Scott's going to be there. And his name is Coyote. Wonderful guy. Every year, like we did it 2 years ago in this spot here, we do a tribute to George Harrison. He thought George Harrison was his best Beatle, and I'm John Lennon forever. But so I just thought, okay, just for you, I'll write this poem and read it for. Does anyone like George Harrison?
Yeah.
You know he's dead.
Well, yeah.
Okay. Just thought I'd ask. So this is gospel according to George. All things must pass, even living in the material world. Love comes to everyone. Any road will do. Isn't it a pity you're just a breath away from heaven? Be here now, for what is life but the art of dying? Wah, wah. So give me love, give me love, give me peace on earth, my sweet Lord. Chanting Om and Hare Krishna, wake up, my love. I'll have you anytime. Woman, don't you cry for me. Beware of darkness, here comes the sun. If not for you, oh mystical one, it's what you value. If I needed someone, it would be you. I want to tell you, apple scruffs, I can't stop thinking about you. Oh dark, sweet lady, while my guitar gently weeps, it is wonderwall to be here. The answer's at the end. They're all George Harrison song titles. Every little word of them. All strung together like a necklace.
Missed one.
I didn't try and get them all in.
Oh, okay.
I just used what was around. It made sense.
How would Norwegian Wood fit in there?
He didn't write Norwegian Wood.
He did not?
No,
Did he
John
not
Lennon
sing
wrote that.
Did he?
True story. Norwegian Wood, you know. He wakes and sleep in the bath, you know. So,
I see you said blind.
you ready? You are ready. Good.
Oh, from Moscow.
Ah, yes, imagine you being here.
Oh.
See, it's one difference, one night to the next. It's amazing. One night there's everyone. Next night
Sneaky, sneaky, Tom.
Yes, my mum said. Yes, you are.
Excuse me. Right, so I spent a little bit of time up here drinking prodigious amounts of coffee.
Wow.
And so I was thinking, as I always do, which sometimes gets me into terrible trouble.
Yes,
but here's something that sort of made sense because I'm trying to continue on a positive, progressive trend. And this is what I came up with, and I'm sure I will come up with more because at the very end I wrote in parentheses, to be continued.
Yeah.
What have we lost? Let's take a moment here to pull the scars and wounds out of their dusty attic box and spread them upon the table we share. Let's consider, without dwelling ever long upon them, that there are lessons to be gleaned from the patterns that reveal themselves. Points of reference that complete a circuit, that form a constellation that fairly shines in a wavelength that only the soul can read. It's the aha moment that comforts and does not judge, that teaches and does not scold, that suggests a path we have always known, that does not tempt or coerce. We are already on the way. We were born divine and perfect. We are always in and of and are the Tao.
Yes.
What have we lost? Precious time, mass, space, blood, you, words, breath, good, God, self. The message in every atom, every star, every being. Connection, oneness, progress, presence, the plan, the current, passage, trinkets, tears, the idea, the truth, everything, nothing. What have we lost?
Wow. Wow, yeah. All true.
Cover version.
Yep.
Had a false belief. I thought we came here to stay. We're all just visiting. We're all just breaking like waves.
Yeah.
The oceans made me, but who came up with love? Push me, or pull me out. So if there are no angels, would there be no sin? You better stop me before I begin, but let me just say, can you arrange a nice hole in the ground? Somewhere nice. Make it nice. Where the land meets high tide. Push me, or pull me out. Like a cloud dropping rain, I'm discarding all thought. I'll dry up, leaving puddles on the ground. I'm like an opening band for the sun.
Who wrote that?
Eddie Vedder.
Okay. I like that. An opening band for the sun. That's good. Here comes the sun.
That's a powerful lyric
This is a powerful lyric, you're right.
Yes.
And you are as well beloved. When storms come and steal your sun, and you are pale, wan, and broken, become that garden sleeping through the snow, a blanket covering you till spring. When rain and sleet and ice and floods isolate your love so you may feel no other hands but yours upon your own, you are not alone. I am the air you breathe, there are no limits to this bliss, neither time nor space nor distance. When you are well, I am sunshine on your skin. When ill, medicinal moon healing. All stars are brighter for your being here tonight. Our world evolves within. And it's called Goodbye Mountains. Hello, memories of mountains. Goodbye rivers. Hello, nature documentaries. Farewell parks. Budget cuts. Fare thee well, endangered species. Change that to exterminated species. Valet country. Hello, subdivisions. Bye-bye wilderness. This will be the spot for a shopping village. Improvement, development, progress. We will not let Gaia rest. Bastrop has fires and F1. World has become a parking station. 1% get valet, the rest on street park, or pay at a station to avoid those new parking fines. Move along. There's nothing to see here. If there were trees once, now it's all clear. All clear. The idea of trees. Not cloud, the shadows of clouds. Not water, fish, birds, snake. Not earth, holes to extract and fill with our ash. Not horizon, sunrise and set. Not skies, stars, aircraft, spy satellites. Not lakes, drought, dust bowls, empty dams. Not roads, cracks and broken weeds. Not distance, stop. When you believe you cannot conceive what you see as doppelganger, other, moon face of sun-kissed reflection mirror waters, underneath a depth you will not believe that finds the other side, Pink Floyd. Sit years as large as cycles turn to dance. Lottery life, grasp long odds, take the chance. Get your dervish on, get your dervish on. She gonna put on her belly dancing tape, she gonna go out dance in the rain, she gonna get her spirit back, she's gonna sparkle and shine, don't matter if rain on outside, furnace heart starts up within, chant and holler if you can't sing. Why are all those birds humming? Get your belly chakra shine, get your zumba, zoom, zoom, zoom. When you move, the world moves with you. Open up the world when you dance in your room. Boom.
Nice.
Thank you very much. If you're lucky, you'll find a seat somewhere. Yeah, please, take the daughter. Take that daughter. Can you ever remember your first dream? First dream, way back, first one. Never?
I don't remember.
That's safe. That's true. But if you did remember, you'd have spent a lot of time, wow, what a dream that was. So here are some possible dreams you might remember. Insurrectionist grass against anarchist lawnmowers. Tree elders bowing in the winds. River investing in banks, drought withdrawal. Carp curling, mud-bound, flat-flipping, empty-eyes drained pond. Because I was in this little station in the middle of nowhere in New South Wales, and my friend said, "Come on out, we're gonna shoot the carp. We all got 22s." I said, "Why?" They said, well, it's a drought. They're all going to die anyway. They're out there in the mud, flipping, flapping around. Put them out of their misery. So they went out with guns and shot them. That's where that poem came from. It's all true. Storms inside us, hurricanes in motion. Blue night, white stars, purple sky clouds. Earth kisses rain underfoot. Water laughing until dams. Blinking stars, no, spy satellites. Security cameras, full employment. In the next room, fish share escape stories. Unhook yourself.
Silent. That was true.
Many years ago, you can't do this at home. I used to hitchhike a lot. And just whoosh. Sometimes when the moods would be in, I'd take 1,000 miles and then I'd come back until, feeling better. Other things I'd do is go into the water until the water sort of washed the moods away. But one time, I was in the middle of the Northern Territory, a place called Three Ways Roadhouse, in the middle of nowhere. I like the place in the middle of nowhere because they always represent what the true reality of things are. And there's this Aboriginal guy who's getting angry at the guy who sold him some very bad alcohol, right? Because they sell it for twice the price and it's half as good because they can. And said, and then I was really young, and he says, "Take my watch." I said, "What for?" I'm going to beat some sense into this guy. So I'm holding this really expensive watch, and this guy goes out and beats the guy to the ground. And he takes the watch, and then I just head out of there. Next town I'm in, right? I didn't want to get into any place. I was sleeping in beside a shop, and all these people come past when you're sleeping in the open, right? So I tried to sleep in the alleyway. It didn't work. Then I thought, okay, come on, it's okay. Sleep in the public toilets, because no one's going to go there. Sure enough, they came in. And this guy said, "Hey, mister, you want my wife? $10. I said, no, I got no money. I'm just traveling through. He thought I was bargaining. $5. He said, $5. I said, no. I said, free, he says. And then he lit this match in front of her face. The saddest face I've ever seen. The face of his wife, and she was holding like a Madonna with a child in her arms, a PH. And he was trying to sell his wife so he could get some more beer. This is all true. That's people have, and I worked in a bar where people would come from the outback, and they hadn't had anything to eat for a long time. So they just had drinking beer and their stomach shrank. So one guy, for his Christmas dinner, had a piece of steak, 1 inch square, that's all he could eat, because his stomach had shrunk from just drinking beer. Another time, I really liked this Aboriginal guy, and then we had a lot of flash floods in the creeks, and he drowned in the creek just down the road. And for fun, on Saturday nights, we'd go out to the graveyard, because that's all that was happening in the town. So we'd, laugh at the things on the sign. It was close to a town called Birdsville, which is the absolute end of the world. You go any further, you'll be on the Black Stump. And the Black Stump is where nothing, not even nothing, couldn't afford nothing, so half of nothing was there. But anyway, so I hitchhiked out there with what's called a Junda mailman. Went out through the outback, and because my neighbour was the drummer for a band called the Bee Gees, and I really liked him, and he was an Australian film star, and he was working with the Beatles up in Abbey Road. Okay, so I wanted to go over there and have fun with them. So I only made 2 mistakes. I hitchhiked all the way through the outback, through the Three Ways Roadhouse, up to Darwin, slept on the beach, Fanny Bay Beach. Going to go through the hippie trail through Asia to London, right? 2 things I forgot. In this world, apparently you have to have money, and to get across borders, they have a thing called a passport. I had neither. So I thought, well, I can slip across the Timor Sea, but then there were all these other people sleeping on the beach, and they couldn't get across the hippie trail either. So I thought to myself, if they're stuck and I'm stuck, one of us has got to get out. So I hitchhiked all the way back, and just tell you the story now. Sometimes dreams are real, but they only go as far as you can follow them in your body. So that was then. Don't hitchhike now.
I'll go.
Please, yes.
This is a good grab story. one of you has already heard this, so just play along, pretend like you haven't heard it, pretend like this is new and fresh and everything. So, the other day I was, my days are strange. I wake up when I want, go to sleep when I want, stay up till 6, 5, 6, working, do what I'm motivated to do it, work it, wake up, have that cigarette, lay on the couch, and then if I get listless, sometimes I lay on the couch and go, ooh, and then the laptop calls me and I start to work and I answer Tom's emails and other people's emails and get working. So this particular day, I think it was Thursday or Friday, and that's the story I'm going to relate. So I'm laying on the couch. And I share this because I think it's a novel perspective on I think a common ailment amongst us. I laid on the couch in my curled up little cringing position, which often goes through this cycle of cringe, Christ, cry, Christ, cringe, cry, and I heard this voice, and it said, and wait for the punchline.
I can't wait.
It said, go away and leave me alone. And I said, what? And it said, go away, leave me alone. So I said, okay. Went outside, had a cigarette, got in the shower, took a shower, came up in full English, hung out, relaxed with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
Said, it wasn't me that was saying, leave me alone, go away, leave me alone. It was never me. It was the chi, it was the energy, it was the space, it was the time, it was the place that said it wanted to be left alone. So I left, went away, was with friends and family and enjoyed myself. I went home and it said, I am glad you're back. And I said, thank you very much.
Wow, lovely story. Lovely story.
Also known as your house. Also known as your house.
It just would happen to
I knew this guy who used to come regularly to the hideout. He's in Del Valley now, the prison, because he killed his lover, or allegedly killed his lover. But he used to sleep in the creek bed, and that's very fine, except sometimes it rains in Austin. So twice he got washed out. And he used to treat it as a university. He said, I'm learning from my elders, all the other homeless people. So I thought, okay, I'll learn from you. So I wrote homeless haiku. Shopping trolley man, he piles up possessions others throw away. Park police all know him, camping in the greenbelt, gypsy in his tent. Buddha beggar stands, hands outstretched in petition, who can see him now? Cold snap steals his heat, rain soaks everything he owns, nothing to live for. Crying begins now when income needs to be found, only friends will care. So, and this one is about, this is a tea room, but I speak tea and coffee. I grew up with a pot of tea, and the answer to everything was have another cup of tea. You know, have another cup, have a cup. Put the billy on. And we used to have Lipton's or Lanchu, the cheapest, rottenest, dustiest stuff you could get. That's where this was pre-tea bags, where you have to see the teapots here, beautiful teapots. That's what we had. We had generic ones, you know, plain white china, and it wasn't even made in China. So you measure out the tea. You make sure the water was boiling. You pour it on. Steep the tea. If you're out back, you'd use eucalyptus leaves and you'd swing the billy can around so it became immersed in the water, right? Boiling water. And then you let it steep, which is just settle. And when it's right, you strain it. You put it through a strainer. And always, because there's so much dust, there's bits of dust get into it all. So that was part of the fun, was having the dust on your tongue. Anyways, this is a poem called More Powerful Than Your Morning Coffee. You see, I grew up with tea, a pot, a lot of cups, shared like sugar and milk, a ritual slow as yawning morning. Stretch that pot by refreshing it with hot boiling water and another teaspoon of leaves. Stir occasionally until both tea and we settle. Good company. Around the billy, we sit in silence or in speech. Either way, we find what we really need. As Lance Armstrong once shared, it's not about the bike. Tannin is a companion, older than time. It's just a ritual sharing, carrying up to grow slow together. Imbibing leaves heated over slow morning dawning time. Then race fast, grained apart. Oh, coffee! Oh, black art. But I do drink coffee. Coffee's good. Coffee's wonderful. I am loyal to America. Everything is good. I salute the flag on Flag Day. So this is about the moon, because the moon belongs to poets. And the moon has requested that no more poems be written about the moon. So I'm writing no more. That's what poets do. Making a play for the moon. I saw the Apollo movie. I hear soul music. I know we can get there soon. North Korea sends monkeys to space. Sputnik long ago did that too. Is it our place to set up a moon base, or are our rockets just needing a target? Napoleon bombarded the Sphinx. Contemporary denies conspiracies. Dark side of the moon means more than Pink Floyd. By the way, which one of you is Pink? All those stars, they died like Hollywood long ago. Children still flock to Las Vegas. Adolescents to wait a nude orc. Yellow brick road goes beyond all we know. Soon we can sing to the moon. Come on, ghosts of old Bing Crosby and Trogs. Fly me to the moon and let me sing among the stars. I want to spend my life with a girl like you. The moon. Yeah.
Rocket or ballad?
You choose.
Yes, exactly. Good point. Yeah. You told me a good point one time. I was at Thrice one night.
Yeah.
And I think it was Thrice at the time, and
Yeah.
I was working on a book a couple years back, and got a moment with Thom in the parking lot. I said, Thom, I don't know what to do about this book. And what do you think I should do? And he said, don't let anybody. You used a good word. I forget what the word was. Abscond, something like that. But you're right to cheat. So.
Don't let anyone tell you what to do.
Don't let anyone tell you what to do.
Never.
Or walk over if you're right to cheat.
Yes.
So.
Pretty well.
Okay. We'll see if we can find some rock.
Yeah, but
Well,
so what you call
rock
rocket?
rolls a big list, right? Words will come out like a bottle of champagne when the cork gets popped off. And I've seen the moon, but then again I've seen you. I'll take you any day over the moon. I'll take you to the park, I'll take you to the beach, I'll take you to the wide open country places. I'd rather have that than any moon. In a cup, in a bowl, in a saucer, in the sky, in the middle of the night. I'll take you holding my hand. A little walk from here and there. A little sit on a couch. A little island away at a time. If we ain't got that, baby, we ain't got nothing. Somebody once told me, that moon up there, you see it? Someday we'll put people on it. Someday you'll stand on it and look out. And I gotta tell you, long time ago and lifetimes away, I made a promise to myself. I told my wife, look, when I get to be 200, I'm telling you, I'm going to the moon. These days, I don't know if I'm going to live to tomorrow. But when I see your moony eyes stare up at me, I know I'm glad to be alive, glad to be your dad, and glad there's nowhere else to go but here. And I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I can't make a promise about yesterday. I can't make a promise about 2 minutes from now. But I can promise you this. Wherever you go, wherever you see somebody smiling, wherever you see a brother helping a friend, that's where I am.
Well, Pilgrim, we promise to listen if you're ready to play. This is a very wonderful thing. While you're setting up, I'll just explain. Tomorrow at 3 o'clock, there's Hot Mamas, corner 6 and Pedernales, big stage. But right here, they're going to have Father's Day. There'll probably be fathers all over the place. And the children will be very confused. Yeah, your day. Congratulations. And after that, normally we go to the Counterculture Cafe, but that's been changed to Wednesdays. So then we go to Kick Butt at 7 o'clock. And Kick Butt is 5775 West Airport. And that's good fun. And then, of course, Monday night we're at Headhunters. And that's a place you probably like. Oh, yeah, exactly.
Metal and lights.
Metal and lights, yeah. Yeah, sure. Yeah,
I know.
That's good. And then Tuesday we're at Rudamai.
Where's the new Rudamai?
New Rudamai, 1209 South First. It's a Bolton Creek food court. It's a food trailer.
What's it by?
It's by opposite El Mercado, just
okay.
before the School for the Deaf. It's the last food trailer camp before you have the School for the Deaf.
Oh, okay, where like Torchy.
Yeah, no, Torchy is further back south. This is further towards the city. All yours?
Yeah, good jam. You got it?
Hey, yeah, it's good.
Do you have any words, Tom?
I don't know about that.
Ship to me for me.
Hey, it's got a cord.
You want to be?
Yeah. Being sad. God, made a good one. That's good.
Major minor.
Wow. In between, Sergeant. There's no longer distance between us. Voice to ear as clear as chorus. Nobody can deny that we were us for a short time. Temporary and spontaneous. Our fun of life that always finds us guilty. We're in the wrong place at the right time, or vice versa, you see. Some of us are home in the country, but we're in the city. How you gonna be green like that? Wild weeds get whacked for power lines. They say they need a home to be intact. These days you see them chopping down the green. Knock my knees. I'm feeling like a green man. Green news. They're not amused. Bamboo riders as the trees start to crumble. Canopy is getting old in Austin City. They're saying, when it finally raining, all these drought hot high-rise condominium tonight. You gotta stack them inside the high rise. No longer single story. All they're telling me is you gotta be like everybody else in Boston corporate city. I feel like a tree where my people park. They pay me valet parking now. Can't afford that in the dark. No, I used to be a nostalgic story, but now all they say is that's green and exterminated and threatened species, we used to be humanity. It doesn't matter what they say to me, it's only if we agree, you and me. Or we could be something different, but that's all the same, isn't it?
Practicing. Where am I? I was listening to my reading. Welcome back, yeah.
Move the camera back. I moved the camera to the front. I moved.
One more intro, or do you want to do something?
Yeah, do you want?
Sure, yeah.
You might have to be.
Yeah.
Am I like a little bit?
That's fine. A little, I can handle it. We got miners
a
in the
little bit
room.
speedy, maybe.
Okay, I can
If
handle
you don't
speed.
mind me speedy.
No worries, no worries.
We'll be fine, we'll be fine, we'll be fine.
Speedy minor.
Yeah, speedy miners. He's thinking to speak. But anywhere necessary, we will secure our liberated territory. The ground upon which we grow is like a concrete dome. We just can't feel the earth anymore. We got my feet on my feet. Where we gonna go? There ain't no sanctuary, you know. Unless we make a little circle and gather up the way we go. We can fire until it's warm our very hand. Here we are, woman, child, and man again. By any means necessary, we shall secure our territory. We shall be the ones who say that you and me, but though we're a minority, one by one we will come to secure our liberation. Anywhere we go, you know, that's where we go. Oh yeah, that's where we are then. It's like a witch on a star, man. Not that they're winging, but we need to do this thing. Open the door and hear us sing. There gotta be somewhere to be. That's not threatened territory. Well, it's like a book that's authority. Don't ask me. I'm like a Heisenberg, I'm indecisive man. I'm between yes and no again. Here we are in the process, and the journey is the destination. And when I wake up, I find I'm dreaming. In between, I find I'm screaming. On the other side, the only reason I'm here to be protesting. I say the skyscraper can't be a small story. I say the haiku can't make itself a narrative. I say the peace between your silence and my dream. Come on. Speak to me, folks in the street sing to me, graffiti on the wall scream to me, I say, about time, we better have time, this is it.
Light scoops, youth and grit. Be what you are, don't fret what you're not. You gotta go in with just what you got. You'll strive and you'll sweat till you learn it, and then go back in and learn it again, and again. Only by inches can you move the yoke. Oh, surely your life is just some heartless joke. The best you can feel is exhausted and broke. Why is comfort reserved for only rich folk? But wider and deeper, where each shallow scoop begins to take shape and come clear, something magic is built that will heal doubt and guilt and overcome the brightly dreadful fear. Now you rise to the task. No more questions to ask. Good feelings inside, and a bounce to your stride. There's another new friend around every bend, and you know that you ride at the status of guide. Strong now as steel, speak the truths that you feel, for you move in the light that is solid and real. Glide the home stretch, sweep, swoop the smooth slope. Your mind is at peace. All your doubts turn to hope. Oh, it shook up your bones and rattled your brains, but your losses add up to way less than your gains. And when instinct and logic can balance the scales, take a long breath, let go. You are safe on the rails. to serve. How can I serve? Day in, day out. Is it to be, I must submit to agony in order to serve? Be patient, simple, and accept. Live life in integrity and respect. That is how to serve. Be humble. From there comes the power. Be joyful, for soon comes the hour when the golden era moves forth, and together we'll find our true worth. Now, why doesn't worth rhyme with forth?
It's like a film. This is where we came in. Someone's talking, someone's playing, the musician. The air is neutral. The night is bright. Soon it will be another darkling Saturday night. This is where we came in. Do you remember when we didn't have to say, do you remember? Pre-nostalgia, where the moments were original for the first time and weren't to be used in comparison with any other experience. An experience itself had to wait for innocence to come along. Do you remember when you were between weak and strong, the stories that you told were your life as you walked on? You're reaching out, your connection, the reflection of the moon and the waters, the night stars in the lake of time, falling or rising. We were as the stars were. Some say we're star children. We came from afar just to be here so temporarily. Time is just a meter ticking in our heart. A pulse wakes us up. We go back to sleep again. And when we do, we say, are you remembering or living? Remembering or living? Remembering, living. Mom, Brenda, and the young ones. What are you kids revolting against? What do you got? What do you want? What do you really want? I'll tell you what I want. I want smiles with universal language. I want art on every wall. I want people to feel free enough that they can crawl out of the cages, put wings on and fly around. I don't want public transport. I want private dream transport where you can fly between A and B and Z and Y and always find a little home, a nest, a roost, a sanctuary, impressed by the alacrity of our times, where time is on overtime and so fast and stress and pressures build up. I'd rather unplug that and just let it all flow out. What do you want? I want colours to be our vocabulary. I'd like there to be brightness in everyone you see. The light in the eye, the smile wide as horizons, that is always delightful to me. What do you want? I want the sea to be free of plastic. I want the earth not to have to break down in earthquakes. I want it to stop the fracking so that all of us can drink the pure waters of the rain harvest. I'd like there to be 100% recycling, emotionally speaking, so we didn't have to live as if the world were under the hammer all the time. I'd like there to be relaxed rhyme. And when we get there, we'll know we are there. There won't be stress or pressure. We'll actually be under beautiful sunny skies in a restaurant in South Austin. Full English Cafe, I think it's a nice space to be in, and that's what I want. That's what I really want. It would be great if this could happen all the time. Have the language of rhyme and unrhyme, free as verse, no hearse, not even worse, but just expression flowing while we are perambulating around the possible as water flows around the mountaintop, goes down the sea and then evaporates up eternally.
That's all right. It did have a song structure to it. It's a good one. That's why I played it. I'm like, what am I gonna do? Will I bring the microphone to you so you can sing, or? No. Okay. I think I'm good for it. Write notes.
Ran out of notes.
You gotta quit while you're ahead.
I did it up long ago, pretty much. Lost.
Like him. Also got bit by a wasp.
Sorry about that.
That was all time.
Goodbye, wasp.
A little sore.
Yeah, okay. You
Hey,
have to pretend nothing. They're really serious. I think it's us or them, they gotta go.
I tolerated him for many years.
$1.89 is the wasp. The HEB.
Bring that up later.
No wasp.
Hairspray away.
Sweet ass.
I got something.
That's alright. You get it up. Hey, do you, man? Oh, yes.
Bobby chorus to play in guitar.
Mike.
Yeah, I come over here.
Yeah.
These guys take off. I have a poetry, but I'm finding not the one that you wrote. New beginning. This, by way of explanation, was composed at the time of the passing of 2000. A poem for the new age. Awake, beloved. Touched by gentle, loving hands, we hear the words, time to begin. We stir, still fretting troubled dreams of fighting wars no one could win. Though yet we doubt the end of trial, we shed the rough blankets of denial. Rise or not from deep repose, eyes half open, one to close. Light is presence, dark is absence, but what is between? Nobody knows. Come wake, the golden trumpets sound anew, a song in morning's rosen hue. Joyful, growing, humble, knowing, the wheel has spun, the battle's won, great purpose guides our little wills. There is much still to be done. Sleep no more, our earth still lives, sun the source, bright gold above it, life and breath in bounty gives. Time to begin. Awake, beloved, and get your ass out of bed.
A long time ago, I was in college. And I thought of what I could give a girl I was enamored with. So I wrote a very short haiku. And tonight I want to kind of open it up into something else. It was the white sphere of chrysanthemum inside a glowing ruby geode. Tonight, the night before Father's Day, I want the chrysanthemum to float in the air and let the geode fall into a past that was 30 years ago, 20 years ago. When I look around, I see white light everywhere. I see beams of petals in the face of every friend I meet. Because in truth, any human being that you do meet is a friend you have just not yet let in. And when you let them all come in, you blossom, as Rumi said so long ago, into the flower of a true human being. Everywhere is light. And the soft strumming of a guitar, the quiet shuffle of papers, the rolling of pencils or voices being heard, and the listening is the word. A petal blowing on the wind on a tabletop, a film being made of moments that will be lost in time. But the here is now, and it is good with all of us. The mom is a chest full of hopes and dreams blossoming out. Everywhere is love. The man, somewhere along the line, said that nowhere existed. It's that old, archaic idea that poets these days are speaking out against. Because the love that was there in the beginning has really not gone anywhere. Every person on this planet is a friend here and now. And music is everywhere.
We have the right number tonight. I happen to have Australiana for my birthday, and there's I'm culture. I've got kangaroo. Anyone out there like to have their icons of kangaroo?
I'll take one.
That's very big. Your son first. There you go. And you can give it to him for Father's Day. Happily, I've got 2 kangaroos because they breed a lot. Okay, Father's Day. Woo! Your daughter wanted it. Give it to her. I got a koala. How much can a koala bear? Not much. I got another koala because they're up there in the. But yeah, they do. And then I got a crocodile. because they're the ones that are, yeah.
Cranky, man. I go with the wall.
But the biggest one I call is platypus. That's what she did. Looking for someone who actually got one. Platypus, there you go, lucky you. Platypus is a very unusual creature. They're very, very shy. They've got claws, they've got a tail, they hang around the riverbanks, and you hardly ever see them. Yeah.
Called monotremes.
Hey, what?
Monotremes.
Yeah.
Along with the echidna.
Yes, exactly right. It's finding out you go. And on Australian coins, like on Irish coins and Canadian coins, they have the animals. Like 20-cent piece got platypus, the 5-cent piece got the echidna, and we used to have 2 and 1 cent pieces, but we got rid of them, and all our money turned to plastic, which is really good because it shows how what's really worth. Yeah, let's keep it running. Keep moving now. You're falling asleep. What do you love? I had a friend in London. She went to Palestine to be with the Palestinians. Got back, Palestinian boy is a lover to London. Wrote this poem, You Are What You Hate. She hates racism. She hates hate. I read her poem and I disagreed. Nobody has to agree with me, you see, but I said to myself, well, it's obvious, you are what you love. So I look around, look at this space, full of art, full of books, full of knowledge, full of laughter, full of food. You are what you love. When your eyes are open and your heart is too, and your ears can hear everything floating through, you realize that all is true. You are what you love, and what you love is you. I love books. There are some of them, like lovers, I can't give away. I take a few along to share with others because they love books too in their own way. Yeah. I'm not talking iBook, e-book, no, we books, community books and library books and second-hand books and first-hand looks and all these things between the covers of life today. I love books and they define me. You see, I live in the heart of my library. I feel like a monk, and it seems to me that's where the songs come and the poetry. If you don't read, then you're missing the world. And if you just write without reading, it's half of a wheel that will not spin within every dream. There's a book outlining, instruction manual defining what dimension you're in and what direction your journey will take. Take a lifetime reading all the books that don't rhyme. At half-price books have got no space for poetry. It's all clearance items. That's the truth of things. Archaeological dreams, etymological scenes. I love these books, antiques. I got a book this big, it's got history. It starts with the witch trials of the 17th century, all the way to Al Capone. I don't dare loan it to anybody. You know what happens with loaned books, don't you? The government creates, I guess, SOC, you never see them again. I'd rather give books away and beg them again, because it's a clear relationship, you see. Books aren't property. They are dreams, epiphanies. They are visions, alacrity. They are lightning strikes that wake you up at night when you remember a particularly well-written piece of thing like Henry Miller, Tropic of Cancer. One time he's describing his dances, and I was there in the book dancing with the dancers. That's what books can do for you. It's not just the physical truth of them. It's the visions and dreams that tap you on the shoulder and wake you up and say, turn the book over. 3 books. 3 books. Thank you. Thank you very much. I've still got 2 koalas. Koala. Yeah. Very big. What about Alicia? Koala for Alicia. No. Who's? Oh, yeah, you're going to sing. Don't give up. You're wasp stuff. Wasp. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But that was the thing about the times we live in, you can just say stuff. And it's true.
It's right, something because
What he said? I read it.
he said it was in the
I didn't
internet.
read it. I heard somebody else say it.
Are you going to read to us, Peter? We're going to sit here waiting for you to read to us.
I don't know. Not
You
fine.
want me to keep this or read it?
Sure.
We'll read without me. All things are possible. That's a statement by which I stand. I stand up here by this microphone and read it like this. All things are possible. Though all the best rhymes are already taken, think the best flavors may still be here baking. All I can give, as I've always believed, is all that I've humbly, gratefully received. I've been the rock that yields not an inch, the oak that forgives all, knows not how to flinch. I've found hidden treasure where nothing could hide. All things are possible. Just trust the God. I've watched amazed as the graceful gold wheat and bamboo fell and lay flat at the feet of the hurricane's rage, but to rise up at length, having but gained both in grace and in strength. I've dug, washed, and panned, behold such loot, then paused in silence, stillness absolute, at the sound of a strange song of beauty infinite, with dancing that angels alone could create. Awestruck, I witnessed the union of parts, each fragment itself a divine work of art. And I am the knowing, all is one great Lord, the massive voice sounding the perfect chord.
Yeah. I don't know what I don't know what I need to know. What are you doing? What's going on here?
I don't know.
Excellent. None of us do. While we like it. Happy Father's Day to you.
Oh, thank you very much.
I've got a CD player and a tape player from one of those.
I got to do something while I was stuck in my house.
Okay, right.
I gotta find a good resource to read this stuff. You told me the spelling I have on my agenda, like Craigslist, is something like you said to do best offer. Hey, I'm gonna maybe
That's the way.
yeah. So I've got like 7 computers and 2 TVs and
Wow.
so.
I think you have like 10 computers, but
So
most
I
of
think
them
I'm up to
broken.
7. If anybody wants a Linux computer, comes over.
They work. The computers work.
Yeah, they have Linux on them. They're fast, they're blazing. So there's 7 Linux computers, well 6 Linux computers. They're all great. Exactly.
Okay.
They have Linux on
Thank
them.
you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks. Take it easy. Enjoy it.
I know how you can get rid of them.
Yeah, I can. What?
You also give them a monitor.
That makes a big difference, Ian. It really does. If I can put a monitor away. There's a place you go to, on the classical at least, I can't speak for people on steel strings, and I've noticed it doesn't really work on steel strings, but place in the center of the string where it's as if you're strumming on the chord that connects your guts and belly and everything to the rest of the world. A long time ago, I was on drugs one night, and we were at a place in Houston, the Galleria. I went around hugging some trees, and it feels like that. About the past. This is about the here and now and the ever always. The things to come, the glorious, wonderful things to come, where everybody I've ever recorded is heard and appreciated, and all those poets know that they're being listened to, and that every word they've ever said really does matter. This is not a project of one man. This is a project of a community that believes that each one of us has something to contribute. We've all been so well contributed to. Tagline for the website I did: free speech one poem at a time. But the more poets I hear, the more I listen to the words they say. It's not speech that poets free. Soul. It's that universal soul that says life is meaningful. And the best way to live life is to share the soul you have. Is to go someplace you've never been before, just because it intimidates you. Underneath your feet, no matter where you are, there's a mother that is so glad you came into the world, that each day she gave you a son to remind you. What a pleasure to be born.
You know how it is. Place is so good, you sort of think, better write about that. First about last night. Space for angels to wing in. In your circle, leave an open door for angels to wing in. It will surprise you. Always there are more. It is as if angels were breeding. Born again harpies, happy sirens, strange fish, fluorescent with stories of depths, spaces and places displacing civilian behaviour, mermaids, maenads, monsters of imaginings. All you ask for are their stories, where they fly and why. For one day we may be refugees, displaced via incidents, and we will need to know where to find safe sanctuary. For the broken and the wounded look a lot like us, and we need to know in cinemas where the exit sign is. Angels are as vulnerable as truth in memoirs. Singing the future in requires all of us. Holding on and letting go. Out of the womb with nothing but skin and a view, told to seek, hold, accumulate, own, dominate, control. Even alternatives demand we occupy. Yet over time, decline, leaning towards leaving, we release what we held so close, let go, and watch as others grasp the hands we once hold. There is nothing we can take with us, not even skin, not even the view, though it does tend to accumulate like digital pics awaiting regular download. Food for thought, digested and released. We are as food is, a taste to be experienced, processes everything, everything sings. This last one is all written this morning about the transitory nature of everything. It's based on the poem of the day, The Flight by Sarah Teasdale. What we love, we leave. Move on as bees tasting flowers, pollinating pleasures. We are as this world is, hungry to feed. Banquets and buffets, treasures and takeaway await us. In barren winters when wild winds strip the darling buds of May, we remember sunlight as a measure of time. Life rhymes with light in a mock mirror of borrowed sight. There is nothing to hold on to. Life rafts, arts, crafts all belong to survivors. The rest of us are measured in moments. Treasure us, pleasure us. We are as previews of a paradise as yet unseen. Morning's rude awakening after evening dreams.
Fresh.
Goofy-eyed. I do not like little bits and scribbles of text, unstructured and meaningless, and then call it poetry. I absolutely love the fluid femininity of her total identity that dissolves the various parts of me. I keep seeing the brilliant illumination of her slightest smile. That reminds me I'm still holding my breath. When no one's looking, I want to pop her into my mouth and run away, smiling mischievously through closed lips. Writing this kind of stuff is the most ridiculous way to try to make a living. Trouble is there's no money in it either. I sometimes think, well, I don't really give a shit, that I am the most inconsequential of people. I'll take that up later. This graceful young lady has relentlessly made me her prisoner, strangely, because she is the very nicest of people. Yeah, don't worry, I'll soon wear off.
I love this book called How the Garden Looks from Here. I'll give you a taste of it about good news and bad news, right? The new year. I have a daughter who told me a woman is raped every 6 seconds. Every 15 seconds, a person dies of AIDS. She is informed via television. She didn't ask me if I can live with it, the TV or the news it delivers, 150,000 soldiers sleeping towards Iraq, a country sleeping towards a war. A friend said to me, I did not come to this world joyful, I came in motivated. Here is a woman who knows how to find her own happiness. As for me, I swim back, remember long hours of desperate quiet, my drunken mother, the house slumbering in the middle of the street, how I came in, if anything, reverent. Now I can just about manage this winter wind leaping through the barn door right behind me, willful and determined. I row hard against the sadness. My mares follow their flakes of hay across the corral, but they do it slowly, knowing each patch of grass will land like last summer's postcard onto the beaten earth. Now how's that for positive, eh? How's that? And here's another one about not whinging. You know? We call them whingers in Australia. Whingers, people who moan all the time about how life is tough and no one understands it. It's a late elegy. It's hard to use suffering in a poem if you live in the United States, where pipes pour hot water into drains that fall through moved pipes beneath the house. I could say the new spears of daffodils suffer under these 8 inches of snow, but it's a lie. And the wind unravelling ice into lace at the lake's edge is no tragedy. I could say my mother was beautiful at 20 and a beautiful ruin by 40, as she wrung the bottle's neck for consolation. 5 years since a blood flower petalled and pooled in her head. Far from here, snow on her grave drifts lightly against the small letters of her name, suffered into concrete. How about that, eh? Yeah, right? Here's another one. Yeah. It's tomatoes. Now there's a symbol. Tomatoes. Mr. and Mrs. Tomato, they had a little baby tomato. Baby tomato was a bit of a disobedient sort of tomato. So I want to be a poet. They said, shut up. Anyway, baby tomato used to follow Mr. and Mrs. Tomato, you know, on the road one day. SUV came along, splattered poor baby tomato. But Mr. and Mrs. Tomato, they said, you know, take baby tomato to the tomato hospital. And they took baby tomato to the tomato hospital. And Dr. Tomato came out and said, Mr. and Mrs. Tomato, I've got some good news and some bad news. Well, what's the good news? Baby tomato's going to live. Well, what's the bad news? I'm afraid she'll be a vegetable for the rest of her life. Yeah, tomatoes are fruit, baby. Tomatoes. All summer I wait for tomatoes to ripen. I dream of their fat globe, seeds trapped in a red sea, thin-skinned and drenched in yellow sunlight. August beats the ground dry. Suddenly I see there are too many. They drop plump and hot into my hands. I pick and pick until my fingers stain and the heavy fruit roll from the basket to splatter and bleed at my feet. Impatience is resistance to learning. I have heard that. In the heated kitchen I stir and salt and taste, add basil, thyme, crushed garlic. My daughter, clutching my leg, cries, "Up, Mama, up!" I lift her warm, damp body to mine. The boiling pasta overflows. Autumn slides down the mountain uninvited while we sleep. I wake alarmed and ask, what else have I forgotten? What else? How's that for poetry, eh?
Yeah, right up there.
Now, just across the road, Strange Brew, $5 to get in there. Here tonight, $5 to get out. That's about that. Marketplace. Someone's always trying to sell something. The men are impatient and hot and want to be somewhere else. I pay for earrings sworn to be silver, but they're too light in my ears and glint like lies in the noon sun. Bargaining is hard business, so I go where the women are, sitting among baskets and bright blankets, motionless beneath whirling fans. I am lulled by their voices, soft gossip, the whisper of embroidered cotton dresses. The women have cool brown hands that lift my baby into shade where their own children string shells the colour of watermelon and fresh mangoes. It is easy to be here. I carry things around, a purse, a ring, a marble bird. I put things back, deciding, there is so much time for hesitation. The heat does not find us here. The women share the baby between them like a ripe fruit. Outside, a man is shouting. All around us the children play and laugh and grow up suddenly, right in the middle of our lives. How's that for poetry? Hey, right, no whinging there. And the last one, this is by Lisa Zimmerman. By the way, it's solstice next weekend, so there's going to be a few little old woohoo, right? Solstice. Oh, don't worry about it. It's just ancient. Rural post office. My sister says There are countries where postage stamps are used as money. 2 stamps for a chunk of butter, 6 for a plucked chicken. Stamps for a gallon of gas, bottle of wine, needle and thread. Imagine a purse filled with tiny paper squares, painted trees, cathedrals, the dictator's profile, and a woman goes home holding a basket of turnips, a wedge of white cheese. If she's lucky, she will cook a hot meal and her sons will not die by sniper fire. Today, a guy in the post office line needs a single stamp, but he only has a $50 bill. Almost 5 p.m., the last blades of light fall across the counter. The clerk is tired, wants the key in the lock. A woman steps forward, gives the young man the stamp with a little flag out of her wallet. Everybody smiles in relief because it's late in the day, and this is North America.
Hey, how about that? Whoa, that's backwards. That's amazing.
I don't know, you let's read poetry.
Ah, right.
Just be correct, we're not reading poetry.
It's 3 pounds to 100.
Yes. Time the Riddler. Looking back as the body ages, along the way sometimes courageous, when strength and passion turned my pages, when love and bonding were my wages. Life goes on, the body grows old, while the soul is golden attitude. In silence, sensing life unfold, in ecstasy of gratitude. Just meat and bones, not self that's aging, not some kind of war I'm waging. No, keep an eye on where we're going. No war, just thankful for the growing.
Yeah.
Life goes on with or without me. Lonely darkness draped about me. Chilly silence stirs the breeze. Chilly blows the scent of freeze. Is the stillness joyful peace, the long-awaited, promised plenty? When will he come, bring release? Time, the Riddler, leaves us empty. Life goes on, the law is the tree, saying simply, each and all are free. From roots to fruits, the hierarchy. Live you then thus, in harmony. The more years I look back on, the more life I look forward to.
Yeah. Thank you, Pete. Fresh blood.
Fresh blood.
Yeah.
Fresh meat, no maggots.
No maggots. My God, solid food.
I actually started writing this yesterday, but only got like 2 lines into it and gave up because I was uninspired.
Now you're inspired.
You know, but then I got myself into automatic writing mode, you know, get myself out of the way and become a channel for just whatever happens, you know, and that's the way life should be lived. So here it goes. A friend told me that the crack in the universe is now etched upon my worried brow. It gives you character. It makes you a badass. It gives you an additional legitimacy. It's a scar that invites conversation, curiosity, if only because some people are too cautious to run outside of the boundaries they've been taught to imprison themselves within. We're all waiting for the light to blast forth to show a gateway to other realms, a quickening, an itch, an aneurysm to allow the third eye to experience voyeurism. Experience a mystery, a well-hidden history, a keyhole, a tunnel, a widening gap between real and unreal. Why does it frighten you? It certainly frightens me. It terrifies me into action. I move because I must until I learn to trust the interchange between your perception and mine. What answers have I? Look in my eye. What a monstrous thing, a Lovecraftian treasure. Don't turn away. I have a story, but my verse may confuse and get in the way. If you want to know my truth, don't believe what I say. Ease through your fear and get over yourself. The world that is, that's heaven. Other people are hell. Objectivity, an elective, selective perspective. There's a universal collective that's oh so free. It'll cost you a penny to get in, and that's the truth. But you didn't hear that from me.
So the first thing you can give a poet is poetry, right? Because I got 40 boxes of it. You'll never get to hear it. I was given this for my birthday, and of course I read it straight away. I'm just going to give you a little taste of it from spirit to matter, okay? And it's a message bringer woman, Carol Lee Sanchez. See if you like this. It's called Migrations. They say the people went out from this place. They say the clans left markers of earth bones. They say each clan's signature was carefully laid, thoughtfully etched in stone. They say all these temples, churches, cans encode the lives they lived. They say those markers will tell us who they were, why they left, where they went. They say those earth bones hold the stories, hold the memories of all the clans. They say they were waiting for us to unravel the mysteries of their journeys. They say they are waiting for us to follow them home. Oh, who wants that? I'm happy to rip it out. You want? Too shy. Okay, yesterday. This is a good one. I always say you can't eat yesterday's breakfast. People say, why can't we do the old stuff we always done? Because you can't eat yesterday's breakfast, can you? As you can't remember. Yesterday, I can't go there anymore where you would have me go. It's an unfriendly place. People with unguarded thoughts and released anger, and I feel uncomfortable, uncivilized somehow. Call, you will, call to remind and remember those long lost days spent in wine, to conjure up nothing, to claim we are whatever it is we were then, hoping none of us really remembers the absence of everything we worked so hard to pretend we didn't want. Some of us are still there pretending, some of us have gone away accepting. Yeah, don't do that. No, don't do that.
Don't tear pages out of the book.
Was it what?
Don't tear pages out of the book.
Why not? It's mine. You know, and it'll be yours if you want it. I'll just rip it out and there you are. I'm just picking out the good ones. If you have to have the whole book, you'd say, oh, gravity. But, well, I like this one. See if you like this one. It's called San Francisco, March 1987. To become a mendicant, I lift my bones onto the path and enter into myself. Pride precludes my holding a begging bowl and outstretched hand, my eyes downcast, unable to process gold into usable notions or ideologies. This late lesson transforms other meanings, other lives into new fruits to nourish my spirit. I take sustenance from chance encounters, unravel moments and time junctions to examine lives and places once tenanted by me. Pretty cool, eh? So this is dream journeys. You have a long way to go. Walk carefully. Speak politely to those who have done their worm cycle. For gods have been smashed before, and idols and their secret is stored in man's very speech, in the trivial or the real dream. What secrets then do we store today in our dreams, in our mundane daily acts, in our very speech? Which precious moment carries more value, the one preceding, the one following? Which dull event lies waiting to become a momentous awakening or even greater catastrophe in the mind of the receiver? Good question. Yeah. Just got another one, do we? And it's about what we do. She resolved to express her experience as it came to her, a series of aggregate thoughts, images piled one on another, abstract and concrete, modes of articulation in the fullness of language, yet pairing description to the most essential, the most important, the barest molecule of a thought. She assumed this was a human way of sorting and sifting the elements of her living moments. She supposed anatomy invaded this symbolic denotation only because she'd been washed into this belief by those who determine these divisions among life forms posited at this stage, this time, this end of the cosmos at large. Yet human to be sorting, human to be naming, to express her thoughtful images somewhere. How about that dream message woman? What about Pete? What do you got?
Yeah, I've got a book of poems here for an up and coming new author. Oh, you?
That's for you.
That's me.
That's you. Yep, never keep going.
I don't like to think of that.
Okay. I won't mention.
So I have to think of that when you're 40 or 50. Not so good when you're 80. What's this one? Winner gives all. Love holds no wrath. Why allow stress, discomfort, and strain? Why accept poverty, hunger, and pain? What devious, malevolent twist in the path lured us to choose suffering? God's love holds no wrath. From where we are to where we ought to be, according to the planned reality, is but the flimsy fabric of a dream, not the daunting distance it may seem. We can slip through the veil of time and space and find at last our safe and peaceful place, and hold our neighbors all in high regard. They too have trod the path, weary and hard. So love each one as sister or as brother, as we can love our father and our mother. No family need lack or fear attack, but live within the light of hope ahead. No turning back. Such befits a new beginning, where all step out assured of winning. All our journeys pleasure cruises. Winner gives all, nobody loses. For we are born to share, nation with nation. At our roots there is no separation, just the endless drive, the aspiration to serve the unknown purpose of creation.
Yeah.
So we still don't know what the hell we're doing here.
Yeah. Well, we don't. We've got a poem about that. Yeah. It's translated from the Portuguese.
Really good poet called Mark Strand. Check this out. Looking for poetry. Don't write poems about what's happening. Nothing is born or dies in poetry's presence. W.H. Auden said, poetry makes nothing happen. Next to it, life is a static sun without warmth or light. Friendships, birthdays, personal matters don't count. Don't write poems with the body. That excellent, whole and comfortable body objects to lyrical outpouring. Your anger, your grimace of pleasure or pain in the dark mean nothing. Don't show off your feelings that are slow in coming round, take advantage of doubt. What you think and feel are not poetry yet. Don't sing about your city, leave it in peace. Song is not the movement of machines or the secret of houses. There's not music heard in passing, noise of the sea and streets that skirt the borders of foam. Song is not nature or men in society. Rain and night, fatigue and hope mean nothing to it. Poetry, you don't get it from things, leaves out subject and object. Don't dramatize, don't invoke, don't question, don't waste time lying, don't get upset. Your ivory yacht, your diamond shoe, your mazurkas and tirades, your family skeletons, all of them worthless, disappear in the curve of time. Don't bring up your sad and buried childhood. Don't waver between the mirror and a fading memory. What faded was not poetry, what broke was not crystal. Enjoy the kingdom of words as if you were deaf. Poems are there that want to be written. They are dormant, but don't be let down. Their virginal surfaces are fresh and serene. They are alone and mute in dictionary condition. Live with your poems before you write them. If they're vague, be patient. If they offend, be calm. Wait until each one comes into its own and demolishes with its command of words and its command of silence. Don't force poems to let go of limbo. Don't pick up lost poems from the ground. Don't fawn over poems, accept them as you would their final and definitive form distilled in space. Come closer and consider these words with a plain face hiding thousands of other faces and with no interest in your response, whether weak or strong. Each word asks, did you bring the key? Take note. Words hide in the night in caves of music and image, still humid and pregnant with sleep. They turn in a winding river, and by neglect are transformed. How about that, eh? Portuguese. No, it's just saying don't mess with poetry. Don't mess with it. You know, don't mess with Texas, please. Mess with Texas. And there's another one which is really good called Language. It's by W.S. Graham. Ha! Now you have me. Language, now you have me. Nighttime tongue, please speak for me between the social beasts which quick assail me. Here I am hiding in the jungles of mistakes of communication. I know about jungles. I know about unkempt places flying towards me when I'm getting ready to pull myself together and plot the place to speak from. I am at the jungle face which is not easily yours. It is my home, where pygmies hamstrung jumbo and the pleasure monkey is plucked from the tree. How pleased I am to meet you reading and writing on damp paper in the rainforest beside the Madron River, which is my home. The great and small breathers, experts of speaking, hang and slowly move to say something or spring in the steaming air down to do the great white hunter forever. Do not disturb me now. I have to extract a creature with its eggs between the words. I have to seize it now, otherwise not only my vanity will be appalled, but my good cat will not look at me in the same way again. Is not to look. We are the ones hanging on here and there, the dear words edge, wondering if we're speaking clearly enough or if the jungle's acoustics are at fault. Baboon, my soul is always ready to relinquish the safe hold and leap onto nothing at all. At least I hope so. Language, now, there you have me. Trusting to be myself, but changed into the wild beast, pursued or the leopard running at stretch beside the Madron River. Too much. I died. I forgot who I was and sent my heart back with my bearers. How pleased I am to find you here beside the Madron River, wanting to be spoken to. It is my home, where pygmies hamstrung jumbo and the pleasure monkey is plucked from the tree. I've slept on the subway platform, afraid of the torn skins of shrapnel. I've slept on the edge of the sea and on the tip of the tongue of the inkwell. I've slept barefooted and bareheaded without a doll, without a sheet to cover me. I've slept in a chair, upright, and wakened later on the ground. And the night we were put out in the streets and the days after the storms broke, I slept between scrub brushes and grindstones in the old man's second-hand store. I grew up till I was tall and swelled my clothes. I kept my eye out and still I went on sleeping, became a young lady, became, they say, a poet, and wound up sleeping out in the night. And in spite of all the luck of hard knocks, you can see why I'm so talented. One by one, I've sent my troubles off to bed and slept myself beside my lover man. Woohoo! Nice, you like that one? Happy. This is a Greek one if you can stand it. How much time we got? That's exactly, no, do I? Watch, you've got to watch. What's it saying? No, it doesn't. What's the time?
Oh, it says 8:31.
Nearly there. We've got a whole book to go. Easy. Disfigurement.
Easy for you.
This woman, easy for you, that's right, yes. This woman had a number of beautiful lovers. Now she's bored. She doesn't dye her hair anymore. She doesn't remove the hairs with tweezers one by one around her mouth. She stays in the wide bed until 12 noon. She keeps her false teeth under the pillow. The men circulate naked between one room and another. They often go to the bathroom, close the faucets carefully, by chance set a flower straight on the center table. As they pass through, noiseless, hideous, no stress now, no impatience or impudence. The stress, anyway, most easily discerned is dying. Their heavy body hair thins out, withers, turns white. The recumbent woman closes her eyes so as not to see her toes, full of corns, disfigured, this once lusty woman. She doesn't even have the strength to shut her eyes as much as she'd like. Obese, sunk in her fat, slack like poetry a few years after the revolution. How about that last line? Like poetry a few years after the revolution. Transients are welcome. To be like the water, a glass snake asleep in the pipes, but behind you the dream burns the emptiness, and before you the day with this ball of twine. You piss in the sink, frying pan in hand, padding down the hall. You turn the corner and find an old woman asleep on the stove. You ready? I'm going to listen. Come on. Yeah.
Here's Pete.
And you're up. 1,000 mirrors. Finally, there you stand, stony-eyed in the hall of 1,000 mirrors, staring face to face, expressionless at your karma. No matter which way you turn, face to face with your karma. Accounts must be balanced, but without rancor. Not moral issues, but simply steps along the path of the process of growing, of experience, the evolution of your consciousness. Don't pray for forgiveness. It can accomplish nothing, since in truth no wrong has ever been done. No punishment, a ridiculous concept, is due. But prayers for help are always heard, and answers. For we are loved, all of us, always. We are never alone. Suffering is what you make it. It goes with confusion. Usually, it is the person begging for help while desperately denying the truth. How expert we have become at ignoring the futility of denying the truth. We can zig, we can zag, but we cannot dodge our own maneuvers. If we ask, we will be shown the way. But we must carry our own bags. Those who have trodden the path remain forever active in serving. Ultimately, only to the extent that our actions serve all mankind can we gain benefit for ourselves. Mankind must act. That is fact. Through the separated incarnations, growing progressively proceeds. As by root aspiration, we are driven to climb to the next plateau. We grow more and more aware of vibrational condition. We grow less and less prone to emotional reaction. Able to be detached, so important, but not in denial, the man trap. We achieve existence firmly supplanted on unmitigated truth. The body, though soft and bloody, is self-healing, also self-destructing, drawn from the substance of our planet. To the same it readily returns. Spirit and mind are the physical aspects of inner communication. The silver cord, path of connection, grows stronger as we progress. The soul, higher self, the real you, is the receiver. Ever evolving, it is God's seed, the core and the entirety of the entity. You are immortal and eternal, in the Creator's image, born to create. At any given point in the process, you are what you are, so you do what you do. But it's not such a big thing. You're just passing through.
Good job. I'm okay. Not so long ago,
In April National Poetry Month, this was made here. This was an instant anthology. Were you around when it happened? No, you weren't. But people put in a certain number of poems or pages, and it was stapled together, and they took away a book. Made in one night. So here's my contribution. Energy drinks are bad for your heart, and antidepressants may lead to depression and suicide. Ritalin is a drug, speed, given to school children doing anti-drug programs. Tasers have been known to kill people and be used as instruments of abuse. Waterboarding was first used by the Catholic Church during the Inquisition. Vagrancy laws came from the Black Plague, when all hands were needed for harvest. Child slavery still exists on Texas farms where children are still used for harvesting, where the only work available is slavery, sex slavery cells in Austin. Elder abuse is tied to government austerity programs. Unemployment is unnecessary. There is always work. Adequate payment is the problem. Legalizing gay unions assists societal stability, as does stopping prohibition on weeds. Female priests, bishops, archbishops and popes have existed and they will again. News is not. There's a cycle to all information. Control, edit, censor, limit, editorialize, personalize, sensationalize, medialize. You better occupy. You ready?
Oh, I've got nothing.
Okay, fair enough, I'll go playing. You ready? No?
Close up.
Yes, true. Spring cleaning. Hailstorms at midnight, rain-soaked morning, sun comes bright, bold and beautiful, we soak it in, begin spring cleaning. Own too much, reduce everything, throw out excess, cut to essentials, 2 of everything, 1 is enough, cut those limbs off, arms and legs. You can see quite clearly one-eyed. Half is more than enough. Think of the starving. Empty that Buddha belly. Those memories, delete everything. Now, does it not make you feel better? Nothing to worry about when you have nothing. Young time was long and tall as parents. Many moments snail silver streaks across our growing wide eyes. Time was a tick that entered our flesh and sat there. Some succumbed to somnambulism within womb sleepy suburbs. Some sprang into spiked hair adolescence. All of us had different watches on, Time X, Omega. Grandfather clocks down long, tall hallways told their slow passing, our quick emergence. Made in Japan became made in China. The world became smaller as we grew larger. Now instant crashes, endless asymmetrical warfares, third world gone by first, exporting homemade. We are in a new age, Middle Age. Middle Age is crusades, jihad. Inside our cottage pie tonight, we eat time for slow breakfast. Festina lente. Means hasten slowly. So that was Midnight to Dawn here. Strange Brew. Not Strange Brew, sorry. Full English during National Poetry Month. This is April the 13th, 2013. And it happened. Just keep digging. You have a relationship with your life as a wife you cannot break up with. Even when you break down, better to break out and walk out of the house of your skin via dreaming, return when the doors of your eyes are open. You are a part of all that's gone before. All that you've ever touched, held, heard, seen, tasted, dreamed, there is always more once you walk down that dreaming trail. Sit by water long enough and you will see the heads of your enemies floating past. Stand by a mountain to understand strength and constancy. Be in wild long enough to forget all past. Grow silent. Then listen to the tiny orchestras of leaves, insects, waltzes. Bird wing buzz and tree creak, never silence. Even when you leave, those worms are working overtime to clear the past for the next occupant. Enjoy your stay. This is haiku. You've got something. No. Okay, haiku. You like haiku?
You mustn't say that.
I did. Haiku.
Say haiku.
Okay.
The last syllable is a half syllable.
Thank you very much.
In Japanese, it almost always is.
Okay. I always say it's because they're small people. Because they're so short.
No clue.
Okay. Thank you. Emeritus Pope. No more Pope-mobile wave by. Scandals will erupt. Melting polar bears. Coca-Cola promotions. Sell ice-cap sodas. High cost of healthcare. Government has banned illness. No politicians. Year of renminbi. Used to be year of the snake. Chinese cookies. Hugo Chavez ill. Fidel Castro also ill. CIA or age. Gold prices rise high. Quantitative easing no. Dollars in the dumps. Office Depot, Max merge like AA, US Air. Would you fly, Staples? Billionaires giving pledge to give their own monies. Read my lips, no new. Asteroids fly in. TSA, Siberia, no visa, passports. North Korean bomb, nuclear as her leader, explodes on impact. PhD pirates rented or bought by those who want what you have. Turkey for EU, ask your Kurds about freedom and independence. Remuneration, prisons as work factories. What about unions? Drug dispensaries, Ganja, Gourmet, CVS, Amsterdam, Walgreens.
There you go. Awfully quiet in here, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got more.
Oh,
This is about headline haiku. You know, you've got a head, you've got lines on, it goes like this. IKEA meatballs recalled when horse whisperer heard them call to him. Thank you very much, thank you very much. This sequestration undermines legislation to cut deficits. Austerity sucks. Look at Greece, Spain, Italy, no more tourism. Festival Austin, pedicabs, taxi drivers profit from gridlock. Banning plastic bags, ban advertising budgets, bloated and wasteful. Those are just a little haiku headlines. And this one's about tomorrow night. No. Monday night. I've got time warp. I think it's so slow it's Sunday. But it's still Saturday night wild, isn't it? Woo! Okay. Yeah, Monday night we're at Headhunters, and this is the poem about that. What is in the name? Headhunters, old punk, dark shadow, cockroach, poverty, Austin, heavy metal, thrash, noise, rock, loud volume. Small box of a room with original vomit. Comes bar rescue, disapproves. Concoct steampunk, metal and lace theme, clean bar with lights and sound system suitable for 2012. They say $120,000 for curtains, computers and stage. Their target, artsy, affluent urbanites, 25 to 39, extreme makeover. Customers left, staff left, the change was scoffed at and scorned. So much so that headhunters had to be resurrected in the dingy small back bar. We all need a habitat. Poets now roost first and third Monday nights. We dare not call it metal and lace. After all, this is Hip City Austin, not some 80s retro themed reality show doled up for tourist karaoke clean skin experiment. Drink to us.
Yes. Nice. I said that.
A little is a lot when you have less. Blessed by beggars, I really like the people on the corners. Do you like them? I like them. I get to know a lot of them because they carry food and water, and they're very, very, you look in their eyes, very loving. People who are standing by the side of the road.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Actually did a haiku that was in the Statesman about 10 years ago. First time they had poetry. It's our haiku goes like this. Haiku goes like this, right? Man stands by Ben White, holding sign, employed, happy. Traffic snarls, confused. Thank you very much, thank you very much. But my favourite, as Shadrach knows, is the famous haiku by John Cooper Clarke. Expressing one's thoughts in 17 syllables is very difficult. A little is a lot when you have less. Blessed by beggars, by the very roads of gridlock, a little is a lot to those with less. Food, drink, money, smiles, Buddha, Jesus, Mohammed coexist. Harmonies exist outside beliefs. They who would limit, entrap, attack and fear you now see reflection in your face. Old see young, fat see slim, dream sees fact, each jigsaw piece a perfect fit. It is as if free will suits determinants. Every atheist has faith. Shake the superflux to show the heavens more just, King Lear. Kindness and compassion are not brand names of corporations, more modes of interaction that validate our dream passports. So we might navigate ethical dilemmas together, find ourselves in the same boat, seek metaphor to explain our ease with one another, breathing the same air, providing each other with all necessary bandages, wounded healing barefoot doctors, patient as patients, medicine, sans frontier. My goodness gracious, more haiku. These aren't haiku, these are just short little buggers. People like long poems, and I thought, no, brevity, width.
Of course, that's 7 syllables.
7 syllables. But to count, I run our fingers. So this is called Candide Schweik Yossarian Dice Man. And the title's longer than the poem. Dove versus hawk. Check your budget. Who killed Bambi? The deer hunter. Conscientious objection, conscious celebration. Circle, ellipses, spirals versus squares, rectangular skylines. A line has both ends. ending. Medicine wheel, water. Public recluses, show for one. No guns needed, just your arms. Street violence, house peace. Indigenous knew us before we displaced them. 2013 with 2012 forgotten and 2014 not yet dreamed. This momentary island, dandruff, snowflakes. Thank you very much. I think it's really kind, very kind. You got any more there, Pete? Good man. That's the southern twist. Big day tomorrow, Father's Day. Father's Day, raiding the place. I'll be pushing down the walls to get it in.
A few breaths ahead. Life, death, as you deal the next hand, your expression shows simple and bland, revealing nothing of what cards may fall or of what play you may choose to call. True, I have promising work in hand. I would be unhappy to disband, but if it is come, my time, my day, then I will move on, not plead to delay. For when I step in through your open door, the gloom will change to brilliance, I'm sure. The fear dissolve, and with a cheerful heart, I'll count the blessings brought for the new start. So long I've watched the peaceful years flow by. Now I'm breathless, see the hasty decades fly. Sons, daughters, don't grieve, don't feel blue. The old folks are just breaths ahead of you. You don't want to die here and leave a mess for someone else to clear up.
Yeah, leave a mess here. Stay alive. No mess.
Repeat that.
No time is coming. Speaking of food, remember the horse meat scandal, Alice? Horse meat in England? And the French love it. You know, yeah, very common. I was in Paris in the winter. I saw a sign, lunch, 30 francs. I thought, bargain, go there. And I said, what is the lunch? And they bring me, this is difficult English. I say it slowly, I'm a tourist. They say, no. I say, yeah. I'll have number 2, thank you. Horses for courses. Hey, nunny, no, nag ye when I will. There's something rotten in this meat swill. I've got a beef to pick with ye. Slaughter horses generally, you see, we do not know what we are devouring. If the label says Wendy's and we eat Burger King, if the horse runs away from McDonald's Corporation, we know sausages are suspect with salmonella, hamburgers E. coli and strange fecal matter, even wheatgrass subject to contamination. It's a body of evidence that needs examination. Cadavers of horses and donkeys and mules are served up to meat. Addicts fooled by the appearance of flesh that looks kosher is actually pork made for Muslim brothers. Religion says forgive and turn the other cheek, so long as that does not apply to labels on the food that we eat. There we are, no horses, no horse. Ride the horse. Wow. Fabulous creatures. A bundle of poets sat down by your desert, seated oases, water and birds. Wherever you are, O fountains of foolishness, a circus appears in the sky. Here comes an acrobat of paint imagery. Here comes a cloud for a song. One is solo a cappella, the other a sing-along. Over there, a cage of his own making, an elder of rules and of age is jumping through grammatical hoopla to force all his children to rhyme again. They will not be in-stop. They all want to be free verse. Jazz, rap, trip-hop, hip-hop informs their contemporary worlds. Mostly at night you can see them, parked in your very best dreaming. By morning, like dewdrops, they're gone like a song. Your lips sink like Beyonce's inauguration.
Hey! I said thank you. Come on. Thanks, Good man.
Getting up and sitting down, good exercise,
Yeah, good exercise, yes.
especially sitting down. What you see, though piously, I must say, these are my moments, this is my day, my work is my pleasure, my tools are my toys, blah blah. Is that music or just pompous noise?
Whoa, oh.
Am I reaching for that which is deep within? To my true self now really awakening? When the inner light shines, so be it but dim, then the long journey home can begin. I am what I am. I continue to grow. Sometimes I grant you it's pitifully slow. It's a tired old adage, and yet it's true. What you see is what you get. In the ongoing process of growing, what you see is all there is there. And when in frustration you demand more, well, you're just grabbing at air. I am what I am. You cannot ignore. You're just reaching for air when you try to get more. I frequently fall and land hard on the ground. But take me or leave me. Don't jack me around. What can be done is to keep pushing on, little by little, gain ground, until at some point, turn around. Observe, we're not moving ahead. Realize that we're dead. At that junction, we will revise our strategy.
You can go compete.
I'm going to do another one.
Yeah, that's fine. That's no problem.
There's too much sitting up.
Yeah.
Stand up.
Exercise.
Walk long distances from me. Like some of you young guys, you're long. And I forgot a block. This is the one I can always fall back on. Ouch. Disciple, move on, move on. They said, give naught to wine, small thought to bread, for spirit is the path you tread. You serve according to your choice. Now gird your stirrups, raise your voice, move on, move on. If fight we must, take up the sword, the cosmos richly does reward. Disciple, stride your lonely way, for never alone are they who pray. Move on, move on. Life deals it out, you suck it up. Chilly drink from rough clay cup. Give thanks for what is on your plate. Set your course and navigate. Move on, move on. But then I said, but when comes the time to fly and leave this body where it may lie, let me turn my face, go with grace, go in peace, life does not cease. Move on, move on. The journey entire is for purpose sake, and I, beloved, soon will wake to hear, perhaps, you've got things to do. Your next adventure is waiting for you. You get a new suit, too. Move on, move on.
Hey, thank you. Double pay, double barrel.
These hands that are touched by air and connected to arms touch air that the people in this room breathe. They touch light that is connected to a world beyond these doors. These hands, which will hold my chest and face and touch the heads of my children. There is something in the center of them that tells them what to do. And they will write, and they will drive, and they will work to an end, the me of which knows not. Not knowing it does not yet give me pause, but strength. Because the same air that touches these hands, touches these feet, and touches this ground. And that air that is breathed by every living soul, every bird, every flower, every rock and river and cloud also touches their hands as well. And there are times they come together as such, and there is a oneness to all things. And when they open, out of them comes dreams and hopes and aspirations that they might touch and grasp the other hands that do their work. Tonight, we will go to our beds and wrap those same hands around a dog or a cat or an animal or a loved one or unto itself. I don't understand what Shakespeare was talking about. To me, dreams are some of the sweetest things I have. And on my awakenings, I realize them. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia and Alice and Shadrach very much. I knew a man who gave away all he had. His arms, his legs, his eyes, his ears, his head. He said that nothingness was his true nature, which left him with precisely that. I knew a woman who slept near mountains. She said solidity gave her strength. I asked her if a mining company stripped those mountains, would she sleep next to their machinery? Another wanted to live by the sea, fine until wind and waves blew away real estate, eroded beaches and drowned hopes afloat. Still more live with their doors open to welcome strangers in their homes, which are soon stripped to simplicity. Burglars are Buddhists too. More want to get away to a mythical country, Shangri-La beyond sea limits, until houses become suburbs, become villages, become towns, become cities, and they must leave again. Where you are is not who you are. Though Finch Way aligns with powers greater than all of us. We are part mountain, sea, river, village, cave, hotel, community. We are a moving experience. This last one, about tonight, because it's now that time. I walked out and stared at the night sky, saw a moon, some planets and some points of light that had long ago been named and used by astrologers to predict the twined parts of our little paths of our little lives. I know that light is dust over time, I do not care. Darkness is deep, light punctures it, so illumination spills out onto and around us, and above street lights, always something more. I sat in the afternoon sun and drank in warmth. Joy, elixir, refreshing heat, it slowed me down, deep. I know all light is temporary, and warmth is selective. Whole regions shiver while I soak in my skin. Dreams of day and night, they pass like dice. Thank you for tonight.
No, we got that.
Wait, so you put on stream?
No, I forgot to stream. Turn this on.
What? Alright.